I was persuaded, influenced to stop doing what I was doing. And what was I doing? I was teaching about how to connect with angels, the angelic realm, crystals, and energy. And somehow I did not have the confidence, and I work on that still today. I'm an introvert, really, who, once we get acquainted, then maybe you just can't shut me up. So it's been a journey. And 7 years ago, I started reconnecting with my true self. So why did I stop? And I had stopped for 7 years. I just put all the crystals away and I started working on some other kinds of mentoring or coaching, which really helped quite a few people. Now, I'm not going to pretend it was hundreds and thousands like so many others. There were a few, and maybe 50 or 60, maybe 100 over that 7 year period, maybe. What is important, in my humble opinion, is that what you feel guided to do, I mean, almost like you can't stop thinking about this, or it's really like taking a part of your life away from you. You are denying yourself, and we humans tend to be pretty good about that, denying what we're doing, who we are, what we came here to do, because we're not supposed to be doing that thing, whatever it is, because it's either an artist starve, or whatever it is you're doing isn't good enough. You're not good enough. So there's imposter syndrome, and there is fear of falling flat on your face or making mistakes. And right now, honestly, what scores did I get on my ACT and SAT? I'm not sure how that's relevant, but I did more than just pass. Thank you so much. I am holding, and focusing in my hands this beautiful phantom quartz, because clear quartz helps to magnify the energy, and I'm wanting to stay in my power here, because sharing behind the scenes is not always that easy, nor is it comfortable. And it kind of feels like, now I'm going to date myself quite a bit, and that's okay. Back in the day when I was in college, we had streakers, went streaking by. Well, this feels kind of like I'm walking down the middle of an avenue, maybe in Central Park in New York City, without anything on. And it's not so easy to just be who you are. I mean, who is that? I am learning more, maybe not every day, but I am learning more about myself, how to show up for myself, which then in turn makes it easier to show up for you. How am I doing that? Sharing about how to work with crystals, how they can help you for your overall well being. And when I'm doing that, it feels like in alignment. And it's not just about that. So for the right now, and off and on, I've been on my YouTube channel, do it for a couple of months, and then, not a whole lot happens. And then so I quit for 6 months, a year, 2 years, and then I pop back on for a little while. And then, kind of did that pattern for quite a few years. And I'm happy to say I have broken that, and being here and present, video, recording videos. Yes, I'm stumbling because I'm nervous. Recording videos to upload, and finding the right flow that serves all y'all as well as myself. Because if your heart isn't into something, I mean fully on, fully in, then it makes it much more difficult to maintain and to be consistent. So I've been consistent 95% of the time for nearly a year, and it feels really good. And it so 7 years ago, I came out of energy retirement working with crystals and the angelic realm, and started to just really focus on the crystals and channeling their information, their messages, really getting in tune with that part and that side of myself, which is now, I believe, is my whole self, if that makes sense. So that was 7 years ago, and it actually happened right after I had started to recover from emergency gallbladder surgery. I started teaching some different kinds of classes like chakra and how to connect with your guardian angels, those kinds of things in my home. And I had these crystals in the closet for 7 years because I had stopped selling them. I had stopped offering them as part of the whole. So I brought out some of them, and the people who came to my home that first time, they kind of went, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know you did this. I didn't know you had these. Oh, can I have this one? Oh, can I have that one?" Well, sure. And so it was like, okay. So I had another class in the month or a couple of weeks after that. And so for that summer, and I don't remember the year, it was 2017. Thank you. That was the year-ish. I think it might actually been the summer of 2016. Anyhow, so people were coming to the classes. Commander Oil Up or Oil Up? Okay, I don't understand that. Or the SAT question either, but hey, y'all are here, so be nice or leave. There you have it. So we had classes that summer, and the crystals continued to find new homes. So I reopened my Etsy shop and really started to get into the energy in a whole different way, at a whole different level, deeper and more expansive. It's a never-ending process. Whatever it is that you are truly into, whatever you're truly compelled to share, to teach, to give, and then to receive value in return, absolutely, because everything has an energy exchange. So, things have evolved over the years quite a bit. And I'm now studying Lemurian energy healing, and will be doing something with that in the near future. My books are doing decently on Amazon, on angels and crystals and angel energy in your business, those kinds of things, as well as transitioning from all the pretty polished crystals, palm stones, obelisks, and spheres, back to the original intention for my purpose in helping crystals, minerals, and stones to find their new forever homes, going back to the totally natural ones. And that means pink lithium, that's what that was, and more Lemurians. This one's from Colombia. Now, I love my obelisks. I love my palm stones, and I got sidetracked with those because of the energy healing aspect. And they're great. We do have quite a few, and I'm going to keep all of mine because there will be times when I am working with clients that different palm stones and their energies will be needed for those particular energies. So what's the whole point of this rambling? I'm not really sure because my guides pretty much insisted that I come on today, like right now. Don't let someone else or other people decide for you what is real, what is doable, what is potentially over the top for you. Does it take courage? Absolutely. I grew up with artists are starving, the starving artist syndrome. And in a way, what this is, what I'm doing, my guides and I are doing, is kind of out there. Now, it's definitely more accepted these days than it was when I was growing up. And there's still in the back of my mind the starving artist thing, which I get to heal as many times as I need to. When you know something is right for you, the right path, figure out what you can start doing right now. So the conscious mind, and I've named mine Charlie. One second. Goes from A to Z like that. Well, how is that going to happen? Well, what are your very first steps? Very first. Maybe just plan out, okay, so you know where you are, you know where you want to go. So that is a huge leap, like, right? 0 to 120 like that. Well, some cars can do that, but the first cars didn't. And they progressed. And even still, some cars can't do it, but that's not their purpose. So wherever it is you are, there is something you can do. The first thing that Charlie, my conscious mind, comes up with, well, I can't do that. Or how is that going to work? Well, I don't know exactly how everything is going to work. And there is a flow and a pattern. And unless you take the first step, you're never going to get to step 2. And maybe when it gets to step 3, 4, or 5, it's like, well, let's do a little bit of a tweak. When I learned that the NASA astronauts made course corrections when they were out in space, I went, well, okay, if they can make course corrections, then why can't I? I mean, nothing is carved in stone. Well, some crystals are carved out of stone, right? Some minerals are carved out of stone, but it's not etched so that I can't change. And I don't think of it so much as changing my mind as making a new decision, because yesterday's decision may not fit today. Well, I made yesterday's decision based on what I was aware of, where I was yesterday. So, overnight things changed. Maybe the decision I made a week ago or 2 weeks ago is no longer valid now. Okay, so make a new decision. You're not being a whirlwind. Now, if you're just, popping stuff off and not following through long enough, and that could be an hour, it could be 10 days, is your long enough for wherever you are. Wherever you are is where you start now. So what are the first, let's say, 5 steps, 5 actions that you can take? Back when I lived in El Paso, Texas, I had a beautiful yard, big, huge garden. And I wanted a long bench to sit out underneath this big tree, which I called Tree because it was just huge, just tree. And I said, well, I hadn't found something that I really liked that I wanted to spend money on. And I realized that something that I wanted was going to probably be, $200, maybe $300. I said, well, all right. So what can I do in the meantime so that I can sit outside in the morning under tree, journal, write my affirmations, and meditate? Well, I have a folding chair. Okay. So maybe it's not the bench. I'm still out in the garden under tree, journaling and writing affirmations, meditating. So that's the next best thing that I can do now. So what can you do with where you are? What can you see yourself doing, even though it might be scary, or say, yeah, that's really not going to do anything. I don't know that I want to do this. And that's just fear, fear of the unknown, fear of being accepted, fear of having weird comments. See it as a sign of you being seen. And, you know, if one person is helped, one person is encouraged, one person has one thing that they can get out of something that you've shared about your personal life, or through the content that you're creating, or the experiences that you have gone through, that changes a lot. It helps that one person. And that one person can then help, hopefully, one other person. And even if it's just for themselves, that energy then radiates outward. And it changes everything. Everything. All right. Did you get anything out of this? Let me know in the comments below. If there is something else that you would like to know about that relates to crystals, the angelic realm, or energy, put that in the comments. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in another video soon, beautiful soul. Bye. Namaste.